Happy birthday if it's your birthday. Happy late birthday if it's in the past. Happy future birthday if it's in the future. My name is Lime Green, and welcome back to the Odd Time Podcast, the podcast where yes, you, decide for what games I need to stop sitting there on my butt and I gotta actually play these great and awesome games and experience them for the first time ever. We've played Mega Man Battle Network here. We've played Ocarina of Time here. Majora's Mask, Five Nights at Freddy's. All these great games for the first time ever. And NieR Automata. Which may or may not be the conclusion here on this episode. If you've played the game before, and if you haven't, what are you doing? This may or may not be the conclusion episode. Now this is turning into me convincing you, and you've convinced me to play it. This is like a weird thing now. Go play it if you haven't. But last time, we fought a giant boss in the dark. I said it was both difficult and a strange, unique experience. And I left one crucial point out that I was gonna bring up this time that kind of carried over. And it was, I kind of had to study up on how to use chips. And all of my gameplay, I was kind of using chips. I was I'll figure it out as I go along. I think I know. And I kind of knew. I experimented a little bit. It was that fight that I was okay, now I need to really study how this works. Because they give you 3 slots. And how I thought it worked was it made it look like those were the 3 slots of your overall, I guess. I keep wanting to say percentage, but your cartridge, all of that could be in use at once. And that's what I believed. But instead, that's slot A, slot B, slot C. Those are just you can experiment each one, not all at once, but at different times. So you can be hey, I want all attack. Hey, I want all heal. And I only beat that boss because I'm okay, let's actually take off the the mini map show display stuff, all the little fancy gadget stuff, and then focus on attacks, which that comes in handy for upcoming stuff here down the pipeline, which we will get into here, I guess. So at the end of last episode, they're calling us back to the resistance camp, and they're we're being attacked. So I don't think you could teleport back there with the little vending machines. So I ran back there, and they were under attack. All the people were running around, and their machines roaming the camp, and you can clear them out in the little area in the middle there, and then it kind of enters the little 2D side-scrolling area for the one part of the camp. And that part, I thought that was I don't even know how to describe that. Not intuitive, I guess, because they would come swinging at me with their little arms were waving, and the best way I thought to do it was to like give them space, have them charge at me, and then like section them off. You know, have them come at me, and then I take one down, and then have another couple come, and then I take them out. Because for a while there, it seemed pretty endless because I'll take a couple out and then more will jump in, and then I'm like, okay, well, there's gotta be uh, seemingly an end, or like a guy I have to take out that'll make this end. And I rushed to the end of the little area, and there is a giant machine, and I did the same thing with that guy, and I took him out. And that leads into a crazy portion where it's like now the camp's quote unquote safe. Now there's like a giant machine, the same Goliath type machine that you beat like previously, but now he's like right outside the camp. And with the caveat of, you don't have the option to buy heal at the resistance camp. So that was fun finding out for the first time ever. And so I rush in, and this guy's just sitting outside of camp. And I'm like, whoa, this is the guy I just beat up and had a lot of trouble with, specifically because I could not see him. So I'm like, this is my redemption arc. So I start taking off his legs because that's how I figured out you beat him the first time. And then he calls a bunch of little machines to help him. And then you find out quickly, if you take off the legs, that does not really do too much of anything for this one. He jumps onto a skyscraper and starts shooting at you, and then he uh he can like roll up into a ball and spin around at you, or just jump up in the air and come down on top of you. uh what did I do with this one? I think I just locked in, to be honest. And it took a fair amount of tries because I'm like, how do I do? And you definitely take out the legs, and then when he rolls up and comes at you, you definitely need to keep your distance. Keep your little drone friend like on him at all times, even when like the bullets are bouncing off with when he's in the ball form. But I feel like it's like a security blanket type deal. Uh, but it's also like type of a deal where it's like keep your distance and watch for your surroundings so the little machines don't sneak up on you. That was my big thing, where the little machines would like surround me and like hold me down, where the giant one would just steamroll me and flatten me, and it was not a good time for a little bit. After that, you get like a little message from Pascal, and Pascal's like, help, they're attacking my village now. So you gotta be like, all right, I'll help you out. And you know me, I checked the resistance camp. I'm like, do you sell healing items now? And they're like, no. And so you run to the resistance camp. I had a feeling that this was like towards the end of the game. I'm like, there's a lot going on. A lot of major events are happening. They're giving us the same boss twice in a row. Something's up. So you go to Pascal, or towards Pascal's village, and there's like a little barricade there, and like all the machines are clawing at the barricade, and also there's like I don't know how to describe it, like a whirlwind of robot parts, and they're all being like controlled at the helm, I guess is a better term, by like a central unit. And I guess this is a boss, kind of like a mini boss. Uh, you have to fight this off with the little mini robots. Uh, I thought this was fairly easy. Like at one point, they can shoot like lasers from every which way, and that was fairly easy to dodge. And you just turret it, and then it breaks apart, and then you go up and you go pew pew pew, slash it, and then that's it, fairly. Uh, and then it leads into Eve, and Eve's like, "Why did you kill my brother?" And you're like, "Okay, Eve's like the final boss," and uh, 9S is like, "We have to take care of him." Uh, so Eve just like appears not too far away, and Eve's whole thing is Eve. I thought Eve would be like more crazy than this, but thankfully Eve's not. Uh, Eve just like stands in the center of the arena, basically, and just like summons like machine parts and just like hurls them at you. Sometimes Eve gets like arms and then just throws the arms, and those are like bigger chunks. But what I did was like I encircled the entire arena multiple times, and I'd just like go pew 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 pew, you know, just like whittling down Eve's health, and then occasionally Eve will like create Eve will do Pac-Man World 2 repack, or I guess the original also. The final boss Spooky, where just create giant rock platforms and you have to like jump up from each platform to each platform to get a chance at hitting Eve. And when you get to the top, Eve will just like hit you with a blast of metal. That part really gets me sometimes. Sometimes I can like sneak up and get a couple hits in, and then Eve like drops all the rocks, and then you can get some more licks in. Uh for this fight, I'm like, okay, you've already worn me down with the previous couple fights. What if I mess with the chips again? And I have a couple auto heals. Will they like stack? And this is where I was talking about the chips earlier. They come back into play, and I found out the auto heal is like the craziest thing you can have in this game. It's just like you you regenerate like yourself. It's like holy. Uh, you can be like fighting Eve, and then it's like Eve can like mess you up, and then you can just like back off for a little bit, and then your health goes whoop and goes all the way back up in like 2 seconds. It makes you feel so powerful. It's a rush like no other. Uh, that's eventually what I did. I did lose a couple times, but I feel like not as much as the second spider boss guy. But I thought Eve was fairly easy. 9S at one point tries to hack it and has to step away from the fight a little bit. 9S is the hacker, the elite hacker uber uh maximum guy, I guess. And then they pull like a 9S is dying type of deal again. And like I said earlier in this podcast, I was like, 9S is not dying. They've pulled the 9S is dying trick a couple times, and if 9S wasn't dying with like the spear through his chest, or the thing where 9S like took a missile and blew up, I don't think, and we're looking for him in his black box, I don't think 9S was gonna die. And then his transfer, or his mind got like transferred into this huge metal Goliath, and we're like, oh man, life's never gonna be the same. But you could just transfer his consciousness back into another type of Yorha unit. Like his body might not be the same body or whatever, but his memories and whatever is still the same. Then after beating the game and getting the credits, you get a very funny message. I'll read it for you. To all players, thank you very much for playing NieR Automata, the end of Yorha edition, period. We have a special message for you! Exclamation point. This game has several different storylines that change each time you play, period. You have witnessed the A route, period. Or comma, that's a strange comma. But there are still many elements and changes to the gameplay systems you have not seen yet, period. We highly recommend you play through again to witness the full NieR Automata experience, period. We hope you enjoy the rest of the game! Exclamation point. Sincerely, Square Enix PR. What do you mean the PR team wrote that and put that in the game? Why is the PR team doing that? Kind of odd. Like I've said in a previous episode, I knew about the different endings. Still don't know how many there are. There could be like 20. I feel like there are 20. Uh Still unsure if just playing the game, like replaying it, will get you all the endings. And I thought like the endings had cooler names, like Greek letters or something. Like, oh man, this is the Epsilon ending or something. Maybe other endings do, but this is just called the A route. And I gotta be honest, Square Enix PR, I'm a little let down by that. That's not a cool name for a route. Uh, what did I think of the A route? It was pretty good. Not all my questions have answers, but I suspect if I play what I suspect would be the B route, uh, I would have more answers. Now you're probably saying, all right, are you going to play the B route next? Well, hold on, hold on. Uh, I'm I'm in like a strange position because all the games I've played on the Out of Time podcast don't have game elements where you have to play the game multiple times and get multiple endings. So I will play more routes, possibly all the routes, I don't know, but not now because I'm gonna leave it there and I'm gonna jump onto the next game, which is Suikoden, and then might play another game after that and come back to NieR Automata in the future, give other games their graces, and but this game's gonna be in the background, but I won't forget about it. uh I feel like that's giving the game its due diligence, right? It's not playing up till a route and then like dropping it. That that just doesn't feel right. The other thing is the NieR Automata anime. I promised that I would watch it, and I will, but I'm going to watch it when I get done with like more routes, if that makes sense. I don't want to spoil myself, and I feel like if I start watching it, just doing like one, I'm gonna be like enormously spoiled. I'm gonna be like, whoa, Pascal is actually a human that's pretending to be a machine. Like, I don't want to see that. Like, I've done that for Mega Man Battle Network, like 3 episodes uh episode, 3 episodes for one podcast episode, but I felt like Mega Man Battle Network was kind of like, you know, more laid back, more slice of life. And I know NieR Automata is gonna just like throw you right into it. Uh, so please understand, NieR Automata will be coming back eventually with the anime, with probably all the routes. I'm not even sure how many. It's gonna be like plot twist. There's only one more route. That would be the funniest thing ever. And yeah, please enjoy Suikoden and should I say the other games that are coming down the pipeline? Why not? Five Nights at Freddy's sister location is coming soon. Uh, Link to the Past. Uh, probably more stuff. I don't know. Those are the games I have in mind. Oh yeah, and something Sonic related. Uh, all games that are like fan favorites. But with that in mind, well, let's jump into the games that I've been playing somewhat recently. The best part is these are games I actually did play recently. It all comes together. Okay, so the first game, there's gonna be two games, and they're kind of connected in a way you might realize pretty soon here. First game is Donkey Kong Bonanza. Alright, so people have been asking for a new 3D Mario game for like forever, it feels like. Even though we've had Bowser's Fury, you know? Who cares about Bowser's Fury? But this is basically I have little notes here. This is basically Super Mario Odyssey, but like juiced to the max. I feel like you can play this game forever. This is like a Mario game, a 3D Mario game, but with Donkey Kong. I'll be honest, Donkey Kong and I have never really vibed. I've seen him in Smash Brothers. He's just kind of like a monkey. But in this game, a lot of it is tactile. Especially now, I know this is gonna be a hard sell for a lot of you. HD Rumble 2 really makes this game like next level, because every time Donkey Kong lands, you feel him land. Every time Donkey Kong punches, you feel the punches through concrete, and like every time you punch, it's like so hard to explain. Every time you punch through ice, through earth, it feels exactly like you think it would. And then everything that you break just goes flying everywhere. It's like uh it's a great physics simulator. That's the great that's a great way to describe it almost. Uh to avoid spoilers. And I was spoiled on this game. I'll say that outright. Like I want to say 2 days, maybe even less than that. 2 days after uh, this game came out, I was immediately hit with the final, not the final boss, but the who the final boss was. Finding out the everything else about the final boss, was like new to me. But that's like wowee. That the ending of that was like crazy. I'm leaving it vague so I don't spoil you guys, but it's really good. You could have never guessed what they do with this game. I If I can spoil you on one thing, there's this part where you go to like this hamburger world, and that part, I was like, yo, they could just make like an entire series of this. Like, this game could go on forever. It felt like because okay, so you end up in this hamburger world, right? And then you're like, okay, so it's just gonna be like fast food or whatever. And then all the like little guys are like, oh man, we hate this sludge, uh this slug mucus that's everywhere, right? And you're like, oh man, that's a cool little angle. Like pests in the kitchen, you know? And then you go down below this area and there's a whole little slug world. And it just like interconnected areas. And it's like so good. Good story. Feels good to play. Good physics engine. There's a skill tree in a Donkey Kong game. Each chunk feels different. Seemingly infinite bananas to get. Made me feel about DK. I said this game's like a 10 out of 10. And I know you guys are like, 10 out of 10, there's no game. You're sitting in your little lavish mansion, sipping your lavish wine. You're like, there's no game that can be a 10 out of 10. There's games that can be 10 out of 10. If they're good and perfect. I believe that 10 out of 10 games exist and they can have like little imperfections, little things you think can be better, but they don't amount to, lowering a letter grade, or I guess number grade in this case. Like Breath of the Wild, I consider that a 10 out of 10 because, it improved on everything people were saying about the last game, Skyward Sword. If you can improve what people were saying about on the last game and like change the formula and change the game pretty much, make a good game to play, and both cater to I don't want to say haters, but like people that disapproved of the last game. I think that's a good reason to give the new game a 10 out of 10. Other game I mentioned before on this channel is Pragmata, and I said I'm entering my sci-fi like robot phase because I just I guess I love sci-fi games now. So this game is interesting because the battles are different in two different ways. So you get these guns, and besides like your main gun, your main character Hugh, he takes them, and after using up all the ammo, he throws them aside, and then you have to go pick up the new gun and use that with refilled ammo. So that kind of like changes up how you think about using your weapons. And the other way combat is changed in this game is Diana, this Pragmata that sits on your back this entire time. The only way you can attack enemies in this game is if Diana can like almost freeze them or burn them or like do a little stunning damage to them, and then you come in and then you just go pew pew, like do the finishing type of blow to them. And this game is, how do I describe this game? It's pretty good, pretty emotional. I didn't think it would be that emotional. I'll say if you're playing this game for the first time, you want to go for the training mode. I was trying to skip over the training mode. I'm like, I don't want to do the training mode. I think I know everything there is to know about this game. And in fact, if you do the training mode, you get like little coins, and then you can play like the bingo thing, and then you can get like special upgrades for your weapons and Diana and your suit. And for your suit, I think the best thing is your little propulsion mechanic, where you can just like go and you can fly around, and in tight corners you can be like when all these guys are coming at you, you can be like and jet to the side. There's this crazy story in this game. I need to tell at least someone. So there's these places called red rooms, and they're for extra challenge. And the combat in this game is so good that I needed to try like all of them I could. And you can only get into them with like cards you find. And I got into one, and the spiders are invisible in this game, and they're huge spider guys, and they grab Hugh, and Diana has to like save him while he crawls back. And so you go into this red room, and you're looking around, and so I thought I saw a spider, so I threw one of these decoys. You can make decoys of yourself with the decoy generator. So I shot one of these decoys at the spider, and all of a sudden, like 8 of these giant spiders came up, and they were like, and they're trying to like just crunch this decoy's bones. And that was like the most terrifying I've ever been in a video game. I was like, holy, like it was like watching a horror movie. These 8 spiders appearing from the darkness. Another aspect of Pragmata I really liked is you go to specific parts on the moon, and yes, this all takes place on the moon, and it's like workers that like create their own image of their memories of like what their memories of Earth look like. And that's kind of like, I like that aspect of sci-fi where it's like, oh man, remember what Earth looked like. So you're wandering around like what looks like Earth, but it's like a changed up, like twisted image. Like it's Earth, but not Earth. And did you figure out what connects Pragmata and Donkey Kong Bonanza besides the fact that they're both video games, both playable on the Nintendo Switch too? No? It's the fact that you're like this parental figure and you're caring for like this little child and you're wandering around like this huge vast world and I really don't want to say more without giving out spoilers, but uh, I thought that was kind of interesting. I didn't play that. I was just like, hey, I haven't played Donkey Kong Bonanza. Let's play that. Hey, Pragmata is coming out soon. Let's play that. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me on this adventure through Route A. I hope you'll join me on Suikoden, on Route B, on presumably Route C, on Sonic, on whatever else we do. And I'll see you next time. Bye bye.